Greetings, Gemini, and welcome to your divinely guided rune reading here for the week. Jumping in here for your energetic pass, we have Theresos. That is that Thor's hammer, that really quick, swift strike of being thorough, that thorough energy. Now, this is the Elder Futhark, so a lot of people interpret this as the thorn or the giant, so it's a thorough action that you want to complete regardless. Like you want to pull a thorn out all the way thoroughly, right? Or you're going to get an infection. The giant hill, you're going to want to summit it fully, or else you'll never get to the other side. But I like seeing this as Thor's hammer, right? Because the hammer can build, it can destroy, or it can protect, and the choice is always up to you. Regardless, this is what is like a grounded energy and divinely guided energy at the same time. So this is that tether, your action that you take in being grounded and divinely guided. It needs to be thorough action, right? And so Theresos, like Thor's hammer, once the swing starts, it really doesn't stop. It needs to be thorough, like the follow through, right? So you could have been blessed or challenged with aspects of that here in the past, here Gemini, and I really think it is more of a thorough, like mental mise en place kind of thing. Like you like to procrastinate. Now I say that because I'm also a Gemini for my Sun and Venus signs. In the energetic now, it is the rune of the god Ing's rune. Ingwas is an irreversible rune, and this is the rune of fertility. This is that fertile soil where the seed is planted. A lot of times you'll just see the diamond represented here on the rune for the Elder Futhark. Either way is correct. Now, the god Ing's rune, the fertility rune, Ingwas here, is also nicknamed the divine masculine's rune. And from that, you know that that seed that you planted is going to bear fruit. You don't have to guess, right? You're coming from a place of knowing rather than guessing. Having that healed sense of ego, right? So in sense, you've been doing some divine masculine healing work, or just knowing that you are in very fertile territory because of this work that you've committed yourself to, or your life to, or maybe you just have been like tilling the soil, so to speak, or diligently working towards getting to this point where you can plant that seed and heal and balance divine masculine energies within you. Now, this is also a good point to mention that we have divine masculine and divine feminine aspects in us all. All right, so when you are balancing one, you are simultaneously balancing the other. So you're kind of working on both when you're focusing on one. This is kind of that give and take. This the whole thing, the name of the game there is balance. Right? So in the energetic near future here is the god Tyr's rune of Tiwaz. Now Tiwaz is that vector of victory, sticking up for yourself and sticking up for others, kind of like that Libra scales of balance kind of, and justice, the scales of justice kind of energy, where you are showing up for yourself, you're showing up for what is right, like dedicated. The trick here is to not become a martyr. Remember, the god Tyr sacrificed his whole arm to stave off Ragnarok, and hence that kind of a martyr type of energy, but still a very successful energy, very dedicated, very steadfast, very direct and straight and narrow. Like you are like committed. You were probably maybe guessing at first, and through healing your divine masculine are more focused in that work that you need to do. That's what I'm intuitively being pulled here to say. In your energetic now influence, another irreversible rune, and this is Yera, the year. This is about cycles, knowing that what you reap is what you sow, and what you sow is what you reap. And endings making beginnings, beginnings making endings, the cycle of things. This is a Kenaz facing another Kenaz here, with that manifestation going both ways, right? That trailblazing has its effects, right? So this could be like a big karmic kind of learning lessons, evaluation period time. Remember, in the harvest time, The farmer looks at the seeds and says, or the harvest anyway, and says, okay, what was the quality of this harvest? Do I have enough to last these next energies? Do I need to adjust tactic? Did I provide well? And, and it's an evaluation and a learning period. So right away, you have this interesting evaluation and learning period. It's like you're having like this instant connection with your balanced inner divine masculine here, having kind of like a stern talk with yourself, it looks like. So when the veil grows thin and whispers call, truth and shadow dance for all. Runes reveal what hearts may hide, guiding your spirit from inside. The spirits stir, the old paths wake, the runes speak truths no mask can fake. Readings await, message below, to find out what only runes can show. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, their wisdom moves through midnight air. If not your sign, still cross-watch through. Sun, moon, and rising call to you. Now breathe, return where fate is weaving, back to your Samhain rune reading. So what's your advice here? Focus on your health, stay grounded. Yeah. I see you as this Uruz, the ox rune here. This is more focusing on your natural vitality, gaining that momentum, right? Just that momentum of the balancing divine masculine, right? That the momentum of the work that you've been putting in is showing up as daily dedicated work. So you could have been learning a new skill. You're in fertile territory right now and like planting seeds. The energy of the harvest here, learning lessons, and Gemini, implement the lessons that you learn very rapidly. You are very mutable, air sign, very adjustable, very adaptable, like the most adaptable out of the whole zodiac, right? So you are immediately called to implement that, ground that energy, and harness these lessons, like ground it, make that your stability and your daily practice. And as you do that, you're going to gain that downward hill style type of momentum with Uruz the ox here, right? Very grounded energy, like a beast going downhill, super fast, right? It gains that momentum. It's a little slow, diligent work here. Like the ox, it takes a little bit for it to get going. You have to put the yoke on, you have to get the plow hooked up, but once it gets going, right? And it's very difficult to stop. So this is also calling into aspects of your health. Make sure that what you surround yourself with are healthy and serving your divinely guided path, going to nurture that seed that you planted in that fertile territory, right? Coming through this with these lessons that you learned, you're applying that into the energies that you surround yourself with. It's not just health in the aspects of what we drink or what we eat. It's the music we listen to, the thoughts that are going in our heads, our social media habits, what we think about others, all that. It all plays a role into this wonderful dynamic of what health is and how to ground in our divine masculine healing work, really healing and focusing on healing that ego, being almost very stoic about it and showing up for what is right, sticking up for what is right in your near future. Beautiful advice here, just grounded, focus on your health. What do you have here in the outcome though, Gemini? It's Reho. Reho is the rune of divine flow. It's being in the now. Reho is your, like that clan flag of joy, right? But it has another leg sprouted and it's still very grounded energy. Remember, the line's going straight down off the runes, very grounded energy. But that leg moving forward at all times, that's in constant step with flow. That's in constant non-resistance to being in flow. So like Reho here, you can resist the energies all you want, but they're going to happen regardless. So Radho, when we're called to remain in flow, this is a lot of calling for leaving stagnant energies or unhealthy or abusive energies, right? So a lot of times this is a perspective of a change of house, spouse, or career. So you could be looking forward to that here if that was your goal. Here to change what your future outcome here is, to change like your living environment, improving on that so it's more in flow. Doesn't necessarily mean you're changing address, right? But maybe you're improving your home environment, or you're changing like your relationship status, or you could be moving on to another better career. So take what resonates here, Gemini, and leave what doesn't. But this is just being more in the now, being more present. And I think with you being in like divine masculine, healing focused energy work, super vital energy, grounded, healthy, all that, having the energy influence here of learning lessons, I really do think this is you just like really surrendering to flow, like really being in like locked in, laser focused, and being a pro at being in the now. And Gemini, who better off to be that than your super adaptable self, right? And through that, you gain this whole energy of sticking up for what is right and just and true and good in life for others, for yourself, and really being dedicated to that work, right, of remaining in flow. This is beautiful here for you, Gemini. Let's get a message of clarity now from the fairies. So the fairies are divinely guided beings who love to assist us in our journeys as well. Plus, the fairies are deeply connected to Samhain. So fairies and divine, please show us clearly what message of clarity do you have for Gemini for this week's divinely guided rune reading. What message of clarity do you have for us today? Maybe that was the one that almost flipped up. Let's see. What message of clarity do you have for us today for Gemini's divinely guided rune reading? Fairies and divine, please show us one card and make it clear. As soon as I say one card, of course, you cheeky people. Or energies, I should say. Not all people, are we? We're not all people. All right, so that one flew. One moment. All right, this one says, do some research. Yeah, learning. You need more information about this situation. Look into it before proceeding. Yeah, definitely a student of life here, Gemini. But I think in this aspect of being disciplined with your health, there might be challenges or aspects you are still learning. But yeah, definitely stay in that beginner's mindset and be open to learning. Don't assume you know a lot about a subject, right? So let's read more about the card, if I could find the page. Again, it says, you need more information about this situation. Look into it further before proceeding. Now, Gemini, this card indicates that you're trying to make a decision without a full understanding of the situation. Spend more time doing research, including asking the universe and other people for information. Follow any leads, such as intuitive feelings, signs, or someone saying something that just simply clicks as the truth, and you'll receive the facts that you need. As you get this information, Gemini, you may alter your original plans. Don't worry. This is a positive change that will garner you more blessings in the long run. I think that change is part of remaining in flow. You're going to be learning some of that. Beautiful. Additional meanings for the card, Gemini, are to read, study, or take a class, obviously. Another one is to trust in the synchronicities that occur. Be open to intuitive insights. If that message was more clear, I think we would have the rune Anzus here as well. But moving forward, another meaning for this card is to ask someone to mentor you in a new profession. Yeah, be that student, right? And finally, if your gut tells you no, trust the instinct. Always listen to your intuition, right, Gemini? Namaste. Have a blessed and abundant week.